Senator John Ossoff, when he proposes the, I'm making everything up. When Senator John Ossoff proposes the I Love Trans People bill to put in front of Congress to allow people to identify the gender that they wish to identify, gender markers on passports and driver's license, all of this fun stuff. Senator Ossoff didn't write that shit. 9 times out of 10, his aides did not write that shit. The majority of the time legislation is brought forward, it was lobbyists who wrote that shit.
Sometimes it's lobbyists. There's another type of person it can be too. In my experience, it's also literally just this goes mostly for like local politics. Sometimes it's literally just some guy who showed up to the meetings. Like,
I would argue they would be a type of lobbyist.
I disagree. Oftentimes they're just canvassers. I say that because this is like what the Paulding County Democrats are. Like, you could just right now, Sean Harris is the person who's running against whomever is going to pick up the seat from Marjorie Taylor Greene. And like, I have done lobbying, but I'm not a lobbyist, if that makes sense. I have gone to the Georgia Capitol to lobby against the Narcon bill. If you want to say that makes me a capital L lobbyist, sure, but it's a thing that I've done versus a thing that I am. But I can right now, if I so chose, I can go to the next meeting with the Paulding County Democrats. There's a non-zero chance that Sean Harris will be there. He has been there for at least 3 of the meetings that I have been in. So if I were to go there and present a bill to him, and then that bill were to make it there, I would not be a lobbyist. And I quite literally, I'm not even a canvasser at that point. I'm just a person who shows up to the local meetings.
Well, we agree broadly. I'm just kind of, I'm using a more, I'm using like the definition of lobbyist instead of like the colloquial version, which I think is what you're using.
Okay. That's the reason that I'm being specific is like this. We're talking about an area where I have direct experience.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I'm going to be a little anal about the particulars at that point. I'm sorry.
Well, maybe I should say it as lowercase L lobbyist, not capital L lobbyist, if that helps. Because my understanding of a lobbyist is just basically a person who attempts to influence legislation, whether or not they're a part of an organization, which that could get into a sub-definition game of, I would assume the reason that you're proposing this is because you're either wanting to directly counter people that you've talked with, say like anti-trans legislation, or you want to help promote the people that you've talked with, i.e. pro-trans legislation, which would put you as like part of a lowercase organization.
I guess like as an example, there's Georgia Equality. Georgia Equality is, for all intents and purposes, a lobbying org. Like, that's what they do. It's one of the things that they do. They also organize protests and other stuff, but lobbying is a thing that they do. But oftentimes the people who lobby for Georgia Equality are not actually associated with Georgia Equality in any official capacity. They are associated with Georgia Equality in the sense that they are on an email list. And they might, because this is what happened with me, a email gets sent out saying, hey, this is a thing that's happening. Can you please show up to the Capitol at this time? And we are going to designate people who you're going to talk to. So, like, for me, I cannot remember the names of the politicians, but if you want, there's a Twitter thread where I went through, like, the timeline of what was going on while I was lobbying at the Capitol, if you wanted to see, like, the specific names that I was talking to. Ultimately, it was only one fucking name, because the other guy got really pissed before I got to him. But they are a lobbying organization. Absolutely. It is a major aspect of what they do. But many of the people who are proposing legislation within that org aren't even lobbyists per se.
So taking the semantical difference between you and I back to what we were agreeing with as well, is, again, it's not Senator Ossoff that's writing that bill the majority of the time, or his team. It's some periphery person, be it
it's somebody in the periphery. Makes sense.
Yeah. So, and this is not anything like any American listening to my voice right now can write up a bill and submit it to their state representative or their federal representative. And it could be the next pro-trans bill or pro-gun bill or pro-healthcare bill or whatever. The easiest way to do something like this would be to like Google the terms that you're going to want to look for is stuff like House Resolution Bill or something like that. And it'll give you like format examples. You can look at ones that have passed or didn't pass or whatever, see how they write them, and then just copy that format the best you can in Word. If it's too far off, they'll probably just like rewrite it. They'll have a John Ossoff will have a secretary rewrite it into the exact font or the exact font size or something like that. So anybody can do it though.
Yeah, there's nothing. I think I've actually talked about that in a previous video, that there is nothing so special about the job of writing legislation that you could not do it yourself if you wanted, if you were looking for a thing to do to try to help things out.
Yeah, having done both, I'll definitely say that writing a bill is a whole lot easier than defending yourself in court. Oh boy.
I mean,
defending yourself in
court is hell. Writing a bill, if you're not pork fatting a bill, it can be fucking 3 pages.
Oh,
and it's like fucking quadruple spaced. Like,
yeah, there's a I don't know enough details to Google it, but there's one bill that I'm thinking of specifically that was literally a paragraph. The entire bill took up 1 page for the header, the intro, the intro definition is the where it'll say like the 121st Congress of the United States, blah 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 blah. So it's not like actually part of the bill. It's just part of it's kind of part of the header, but it's not the header. And then the bill itself, it was like 1 paragraph, and again, I don't remember what it was about. And then the footer part of it, showing that there's no more pages. And this guy, wish I could remember it, submitted that, and it ended up passing. I think it was for like a local legislative thing, just a single page, and you don't have to. I would advise not doing some superhero type shit for your first thing. That way you can kind of get a feel and an understanding. But like meet with your local representatives, your city representatives, magistrate representatives, municipal representatives, and sit in for a couple of hearings, see how they kind of do things. The minutes are often transcribed, so you can like read through it, and then just after or before a meeting, talk with one of them. Go, hey, this. Just a quick example. I'm a smoker, so this applies to me. A quick thing that you could write up for your municipal government would be like a smoke ban bill for public places. So like McDonald's, any type of public restaurant. Most places already have something like this, but you could literally write it in a one paragraph where you basically say that smokers can smoke in their domicile, in their house, on their property, any public property. However, we don't want smoking within 50 feet. Parks, restaurants, stuff like that. And once you get the wording kind of like nice, just submit it. And stuff like that is super easy pass. Because most people don't like smoking in non-smoking sections in restaurants, because all of the restaurant is a smoking section. Smoke doesn't magically not pass into the non-smoking section. So, write that up, submit it, it'll pass. Guarantee it'll pass in our society if you don't already have one. And it just gets your feet wet, gets you into how the system kind of works. And then you can start working up from there.
So what's happened is we've gone so far into the weeds that, one, it's been 2 hours.
2.5.
Yeah. 2, Nakibri, because you've been very, very focused on the details of thing, a very simple part of this has been ignored, because Nakibri is asking, how would you submit the bill, though? The most simple part of this, you kind of skimmed over, but only kind of, because I can answer that one. You literally hand it to a representative. You hand it to a representative. Like that's how you submit the bill, because the person who can submit the bill to, let's say, Congress, but like if I were to do it at my local area, it would be not Congress, right? If I were doing this, I would literally be talking to one of the representatives in the of my area and say, hey, can you submit this? Like that's it. That's all it is. I'm gonna say this in the most stupid way possible. There is no magical part of any of this. Everybody is just some fucking guy. You just hand it to some fucking guy. Because you're some fucking guy, and they're some fucking guy. That's all it is. There's nothing special about any of it, but we put so much goddamn weight on it. We worry about how can this happen? How can we do X thing? Like, everybody involved is just some dumbass. Everyone. Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Britzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagittarius, you know I'm not saying that last part, Valis of Sereth, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.